Well, police coast to coast will again raid parks, beaches and public spaces today, urging Australians to follow strict social distancing rules or face massive fines.
Yeah, but the major blitz on the community has been far from easy, with many officers reporting physical and verbal abuse. Despicable acts of abuse for our frontline police. Just overnight, a man accused of headbutting and spitting on an officer at Maroubra in Sydney over the closure of a beach. In Adelaide, another assault, a 31-year-old man spitting at a female officer. In Sydney, a woman caught speeding, also spitting in the face of an officer, telling him she was on the way to get tested for the virus. Police putting their safety on the line to protect the public in the time of national crisis. Yeah, these are the incidents we know about. New South Wales Police Commissioner Mick Fuller joins us now. Commissioner, thank you for your time. It is disgusting what we're seeing. A police officer spat on, and in that case, that person let out on bail. Are the courts keeping up with the streets here?
Yeah, good morning, Carl and Ali. Look, from our perspective, I guess there's two things at hand here, Carl. One is business as usual, and there's still calls for service.
Yeah.
There's still crimes happening, and there's still people who need police, and New South Wales Police Force is still responding to all of those. And then, of course, there's the coronavirus, Carl, and there's the criminal behaviour around that, whether that's a theft of toilet paper or, a poor kid stacking a shelf at a supermarket being assaulted, right up to our law enforcement officers and our nurses being spat on by people, which, it's just beyond belief, to be honest with you.
Can't be an easy task at the moment, and people don't seem to be getting it though, and that's why you're having to go in where you are.
Yeah, absolutely, Carl. But can I just say that I know there'll be criticisms of the way that police deal with this. There'll be photos of parks full of people and we're letting the community down. Then there'll be other photos of police walking up to people and just asking them to follow the rules in terms of isolation. And if you think about the fact the new powers have been in place now for 2 nights, and we haven't issued a single ticket to a person in New South Wales, I think it shows that the police are doing their best to be out there talking, educating people in terms of what sort of behaviour we need at the moment. So I'm not suggesting we won't write a ticket for $1,000 for someone or $5,000 for a business, but we are showing high levels of discretion at the moment whilst these new laws are better understood by the community.
And I think that's definitely needed at the moment, Commissioner, because, I think there's an issue with people that we don't have clarity on certain things. Like if we look at what's happening in parks and, we saw the riot squad and armed officers patrolling yesterday, but you can go to a park and you can exercise. So I can go and I can run laps, I can do push-ups and all. But we saw pictures yesterday, and there was one in particular of a young couple with a newborn baby sitting on a park bench, and they're being told to move on. What instructions are in your police officers' minds? What is allowed and what isn't allowed?
Yeah, that's a good question, Alan. From my perspective, is that the laws are changing in escalation, and I'm retraining 17,000 police almost daily, and I think they're doing an outstanding job working through that. The reality is, if you go out to exercise, then go and do your exercise, then go home. If you're going past a coffee shop, you want to get a takeaway coffee, get your coffee, go, don't sit down and drink it. We just need to reshape in our minds, and this is really hard because we're used to going to the park and sitting on the bench. We're used to going to the coffee shop, sitting down and having our coffee. I totally get that, but the reality is we're trying to stop the spread of the virus. We're trying to protect our health system, and we're trying to stop people from dying, and I think we're doing a really good job with it. I think we shouldn't underestimate how well New South Wales and Australia more broadly is going versus some of the other countries around the world.
So there was this guy yesterday in the park who had his shirt off, which was a crime against humanity, and you guys came into the park and you moved him on, which is the very behaviour that I think maybe might have jarred with some people, not me, but may have jarred with some people. In your mind, in a police officer's mind, can you be absolute now and tell people what they can't be doing in public so that we get it? We can exercise, but what can't we do?
Look, Carl, from a issuing a ticket perspective, if he was back today sunbaking, not exercising, then I think he deserves a ticket. But you can leave the house if you need to work. I think that's so important, number one. If you need to go to the doctors or the chemist for any health outcome, you can leave. If you need to go and get food, you can leave. If you need fuel for the car, you can leave. If there's something to do with child minding, you can leave. I mean, there's lots of things that you can leave for, but sunbaking in the park is not one of them. Going down in big groups to the beach is not one of them. I know it's Australian, Carl, and I think that's perhaps why, as you said, it may have ticked some people off. Carl, this is not forever. These powers aren't forever. Can I tell you, the police and the police commissioner will be the happiest when this is over and those powers are turned off.
So, family, I mean, yesterday I went down to the park with the kids and I sat on the grass and let, the 1-year-old crawl around and the 3-year-old sort of run around me. Under these new rules, I'm not allowed to do that. Is that right?
Well, I would back you and say the kids are exercising. But again, the problem is, I guess if everyone went down to the park at the same time, Ali, it becomes a complicating factor that, do the kids have it or do you have it without symptoms, and are you spreading it to someone else who comes in contact with your kids? And I know there's a lot of what-ifs in this space, and that's why I've asked police to continue to show high levels of discretion, and I think they've been doing such a wonderful job with that, regardless of some of the reporting.
Yeah, look, I think your officers are doing a terrific job, and thanks for clarifying a few of those issues for us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Ali. Thanks, Carl.
Good luck, Commissioner.